lot of you people don't know who I am. And quite frankly, it doesn't bother me. These past couple days, seeing all of this, all these allegations and accusations made towards these professional Smash Brothers players has really made me want to come out and I just start talking about the stuff that I've seen and the stuff I've heard and just giving my thoughts on everything going on. The stuff that's been made against Nairo and a lot of other commentators and players is extremely uncomfortable. Um, it's not something that a lot of people want to come forward with with talking about how they've been abused and just the overall like what it does to like your mental health. And I think that's a big discussion that we need to have here. That it's not just sexual abuse that needs to be talked about, it's also the emotional abuse and what that does to somebody mentally. Seeing all the stuff that Nairo had to do to make sure he wasn't being exposed for what he did and basically to for me now shows me who he really is. It's just sad having to pay people off just to keep their mouth shut. I mean, it's really hard for me to come to grips on why he did what he did. I just don't get it. Like what was going through your head when you were doing all this, man? You know, I don't have all the evidence in the world to basically say that he did this, but the screenshots look like you're just as guilty, man. And it's making me start to wonder who else can really be at fault here. Reading all this stuff about the after parties that would happen after major tournaments and all that, what was really going on there? Who else is going to come forward? I feel let down by him, mostly because, granted, he's younger than me by, I would say, 3 years. As a player, I looked up to him. My favorite Smash player, easily. Entertaining as hell. Great tips. Great at using damn near every character. But now it makes me wonder: was everything he doing just an act so he wouldn't get exposed for what he did? I'm just sorry, like for all his fans. I'm sorry for all his friends that trusted him, allowed them in their homes, all of that, man. I just feel bad. I feel like as somebody who's in the Smash community, and for somebody that's not been going to locals and going to tournaments a lot recently, I mean, it's not because of the pandemic, because I stopped going long before this was even a thing. The amount of emotional abuse that I've heard and that I've been a victim of by going to locals in Northern California needs to be said. There's numerous events out here where that I've been to where I've heard them talk about my specific play style, saying I'm not good enough to be in this location. Why does that matter if I'm paying my money just to come here, just to get better as a player? It doesn't matter how I use my main or how I use a certain character. As long as I'm having a good time, which I wasn't, which is why I would leave events early and not even compete in my pools because of the repeated abuse I would get just by showing up. Which is why I have stuck to online play and not even attempted to hit anybody up just to do offline. I asked for advice by to certain people, and they give me great advice. I ask advice to other people, they'll tell me I should stop playing the game altogether because my fundamentals are not the same as theirs. The amount that it does to somebody mentally just because you're not as good as them needs to stop. A lot of people don't have the time and the patience to put hours and hours and hours into a game that's meant to be casual. And it's really making me wonder what it's going to really take for those specific people in Northern California to actually get it through their head. Because now everyone wants to start coming together. Now everyone is against it. Where was this 2, 3 years ago? Why does it have to take sexual allegations for people to start coming together as a community when we should have been doing this from the get-go? It worries me because the online community is probably more toxic than going to a local event, but I believe they go hand in hand. I'm sorry for all the people who are victims in this sexual abuse scandal going on in the Smash community. It's just it's not right. And I really hope that we can actually learn from this and actually just move forward. Come together as one. Because this isn't a joke anymore. And it should have never been a joke. I've been called out for using Lucina since Smash 4, but it doesn't take away the fact that there's more to why I use her specifically over anybody else. To me, I believe she symbolizes who I am as a person. Granted, she's a video game character, but you ask a lot of other people why they choose their favorite characters in a Smash, it's a connection they feel with that character. And you shouldn't be criticized for picking somebody because they don't like them or the way that you use them. Let's grow up. It's 2020, but we're acting like we're back in the 1800s where we don't have a right to say what we want and express how we feel. I played this game for over 20 years, and I've never seen this community get as toxic as it's ever been. It's just sad. We need to grow up. We need to understand and start listening. If we can't do that, then we're never progressing forward. Look at our damn president. We're going backwards. We're not going forward. I'm out of here. If you guys want to leave comments, tell me how ridiculous I sound, go right ahead. But this is what I believe. And no one is going to tell me otherwise. Let's grow up, people.